Good morning, this is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we're going to talk about the Masterbuilt Electric 140B smoker. Now this smoker is a standard electric smoker, 40-inch, one door. So first I'm going to go over this, and in today's video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be unboxing it, but I'm going to kind of fast forward through some of that stuff. Then we will be setting it up and doing the seasoning. The unboxing and setup I consider all one step, and then the seasoning is just you're going to let it run for a while. And I want to make sure that I get through all this stuff in a reasonable amount of time, but don't miss any of the details. So let's talk about the smoker first. Of course, electric smokers, in my opinion, are one of the easiest ones to use. And the nice thing about electric smokers is they really work good for low and slow smoking. They have smoke generators included in here, but I also like to add a pellet tray like the Amazing Smoker tray to one of these that really can give you a nice, slow, smooth smoke without giving you a lot of temperature. The heating element in this unit is a 1200 watt element, which is very common. And the cooking range is 100 to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. That usually most of the electric smokers won't get a really good burn until you get above maybe 150, but it does depend a lot on whether the tray is directly on the element, and that temperature can range down to 140 and then up to about 160, and depending, like I said, on the smoker itself. It has a digital control panel, and I'm gonna, when I open it up, I'll point that out more, but it's on the picture here. And then there's 4 shelves included that are a total of 971 square inches of cooking surface. You can buy more shelves from Masterbuilt, or you can buy knockoff shelves. There is included a water pan, there's a drip tray at the bottom, and an ash pan also. And then it does have wheels on the back, and then 2 feet for easy setup and moving around. Normally, I would like to get these up off the ground a little bit, so I'll either put them on a couple of large yard bricks. I prefer to use 4 cinder blocks with a piece of wood on top. This model, I would be okay with that. On some of the models, like on the Little Chief, I will not put that on wood because it tends to get very hot right near the bottom center, and so I don't want to take any chance of fire. But again, with the Little Chief, it's a little bit smaller, and you put those cinder blocks on the side, and it makes a perfect place to stand that one. You'll see that the box here is a little faded. I bought this over a month ago, and it's been sitting outside my smoker area while I did the series on the Bradley smokers, which you can check out on my channel if you want to see the last 5 videos, I think it was, of the Bradley electric analog smoker. Now, if you look over in the corner over here, you'll see that there's another smoker sitting there. That is another 40-inch Masterbuilt smoker. I bought this one on the sale, so I'm going to go ahead and open this box and remove the smoker out of the box. So I'll be right back. I got this all taken care of, and I'm going to show you a series of pictures. So we'll just go through them here real quick, and I'm going to clip them through and then just kind of talk about them. So I opened up the box, and I was able to take the smoker right on out. What I like to do is I like to cut the top and the bottom. Sometimes some smokers are marked for a tray cut, which means that you can cut around the base at about 1 inch. If you're really good at cutting boxes, you could probably do that without the marking for the tray cut. I have a lot of experience doing that, but I didn't do that for this. And I just went ahead and cut the bottom, stood it up, and then slid the box right off the top of the smoker, so that way it all came out with all the packing equipment around it. Then I went ahead and I opened it up and I unloaded it. I used the bag that the smoker came in for all my garbage. I like to just throw it right in there as I'm going. That way I don't have to make a separate effort to clean up. I'm one step. I'm that kind of person. Then what I did was I went ahead and put everything together. So the first step is a multi-step. So the directions call for if your model has wheels or if your model doesn't have wheels. This model has wheels. You don't have to install them. You can just use the feet. The feet go through the wheel, which means that you have to make sure that when you're putting on the wheel, you put the wheel first and then you put the feet. Again, if you don't want the wheels, you don't have to install them. You can just leave them to the side for maybe another project, like a neat little, I don't know, a barbecue station tray. Whatever works for you. But I went ahead and installed all the parts. And then we have the wood chip tray and the water tray or water pan, ashtray here. And then on the back, and here's a picture of that, where the drip pan comes out. So that's for any oil that gets around anything and goes down, and it'll just exit the back of the smoker. I kind of like those little holes there. I would like it if it was a little larger. That way it might provide a little bit more airflow to the smoker. That's one of the things about the Masterbuilts that I don't like, is that I think that they need a little more airflow. And this is your loading tube right here. So you'll fill it with wood chips, stick it in, and then there's an arrow on the side. You'll turn it, and then turn it back and pull it out. Two little tabs that keep it in place when you're doing that. To provide extra airflow, what I like to do is I like to just leave this out when I'm running the smoker, and then I get all the airflow I want. Now, if I wanted to slow it down, I could put that in there, but rarely is that the case. I almost always want to encourage more airflow. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fire this thing up and get it going. I went ahead and put on a glove, and I have the cooking spray here. This is name brand, but you can buy any generic canola oil spray. I usually use generic canola, but the store I was shopping at had the name brand on sale. So first thing you want to do is, if you have a glass door, you'll want to spray it twice, and you'll want to spray the roof twice. So I take it and I spray the areas I want to spray twice first. And so we'll just say, like, I did this, right? Wait about 30 seconds. And then I'll come along and make sure not to get any on the burner element and spray the rest of the unit down. Then I respray the top and the glass door when I'm done. The reason I do that is because the only two parts of the smoker that I clean on a regular basis is the glass door and the top. And the reason I clean the top is because I don't want anything falling into my food. So I just take a really hot wash rag and I just wipe it off, and then I put another light spray of this on there. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on now, and I'm going to turn it to 275 degrees, which is what the directions say, for 3 hours. I will be adding wood chips to it to increase to the seasoning. Now, I would like to burn about 3 pans of wood chips through it. I'll probably burn maybe 1, and then I'll add the pellet smoker tray, so that way it will just keep smoking and it'll come down in temperature and the smoke will still keep flowing. So I'll go ahead and get that started real quick, and we'll see that and fast forward. So if you've watched the channel, you know that I like to use some kind of device to pull the smoke away from the surface of the smoker. Now, in this case, This smoker is up high, so the smoke would be above me anyway, but I do like to have it come out so that way I can see kind of a chimney effect. And on my other Masterbuilt, I literally added the smokestack to the side using a floor duct. But because this one's on the surface, we would use a takeoff, and we could either attach it permanently with the two-sided tape, or we could put 2 screws through this to the top. You want to make sure that they're real shallow because you want to avoid any wires. So I recommend pre-drilling the hole and kind of making sure that you probe it a little bit with a wire or something and not with the drill bit to make sure it's clear. So I can see the smoke is coming out, and I have this open all the way. I'm just going to set this on top here. It doesn't have to be a perfect fit. This is just to kind of give it an airflow. And you want to make sure that it's big enough to well go over the hole. So if you have to buy the next size up to keep from getting in the way of the control, that's fine. This is open all the way. I have the probe removed, or the loader tube removed that you just saw in the last clip. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to light an amazing smoke tray. I put a little piece of the haystack lighter in the side there, and that's just enough to barely get it lit. So I will go ahead, and you can see it's burning right there. I will go ahead and wait for this to smoke up. We have wood chips in there from the regular bag of wood chips that I just put, and I like to use something strong when I do the first seasoning. I want to get as much flavor into there as possible. I just happen to have a whole bag of hickory I just happen to have a whole bag of pecan pellets sitting here, which is my favorite flavor. So I went ahead and filled one side of this, which is going to give me about 3 hours, which is what I'm going for. The idea is I just want this to smoke by itself all automatically, and then I won't have to come back out and play with it for the next 3 hours. I'm going to go ahead and put this in as soon as it gets going really good. And you do have to have it going good, and you have to have an air source. Otherwise, a pellet tray will not work inside a Masterbuilt. And in the next clip, I'll show you what I do to add that on there, which you've seen me use in other videos. I call it the birdhouse. We'll be right back. For you, for me, it'll be 3 hours. We're almost to 3 hours, so we're pretty close to about 2.5. So I thought I'd pop in really quick and talk to you for a second. So in the last clip, I talked to you about the birdhouse. And the way the birdhouse works is that it is a sealed container shaped like a birdhouse with a little pipe coming out of it. It's slightly angled so that way you get smoke to flow up, and then you just put your lit pellet tray in there like that. This will also work with a pellet tube. This one should be pretty tight. And you can just set it in there like that. You want to make sure that it's not burned all the way past out here, otherwise the smoke will just come right out. So we take this and we set it along the side here, and then with this, in this case, we would shim it to where we want it. I'll go ahead and grab one of my hot gloves. These are Weber hot gloves. I bought them on Amazon. They're great. It's right here. And we just slide this in there like that. I didn't want to let too much of the heat out because I want to keep the seasoning process going. We're just trying to get that oil nice and set into the inside of the smoker, and we want smoke on the inside of that oil to give it some flavor. So we're going to go on for another half an hour, and that'll be 1 second for you, so I'll be right back. We are done seasoning the Masterbuilt smoker, so we're going to take a quick look inside. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the control panel, and I just took these pictures, and so that timer was set on 3 hours. When you go to use the Masterbuilt electric smoker, you have to set the temperature and you have to set how long you want it to run. So you just select the button for what you're setting. So first you press the temperature button and then you can move it up or down. I find that if you're going to the maximum temperature, usually if you go down, it'll roll over, so that way you'll be at the maximum setting. It's a little quicker. And then for the timer, you just add your hours to it. I usually do it in even hours. I don't usually do minutes, but if you were doing something just a little bit, you could do that. Then you push the button and it just goes ahead and starts, and the red light will click on and you'll know that you're going. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to push the off button here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we have the nice latch here that's adjustable with that screw, and there is still smoke coming through from the birdhouse that I put in there on the last clip. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. It is hot, so I will grab a glove. 270 degrees, I could probably grab it, but it would be very uncomfortable. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull out this tray here and just set it on top. And then that way we can pull out this and take a look. Now this is the water tray, and there is a max water line right here. So if you're filling it when it's in there, you'll fill the bottom half and then it'll just start to come up here. When it starts to come up on the other side, that means it's full. I do not use water trays. The only time that I use them is when I'm cleaning the smoker. So I will do that to get a little humidity in there, turn the smoker up with a small amount of hot water in it, and that's how I use that. But I am not a big fan of the water tray. Sometimes people who cook large roasts, like a pork roast or something like that, want to add a little extra humidity, or maybe even a pork loin or something. They're not very fatty. Then we'll take a look at this, and this is the burner tray here, and when I turned the wood chips in and dumped them in there, they landed in there, and that's what's left. So they burned completely. I find that if you keep this empty, it will burn much better and also very clean. So if anything's sticking to the bottom when you pour in wood chips, it just won't burn very well. And usually I can put 2 loads of those wood chips in here right off the beginning and just leave it in there. So I put in 1 today in the video, but if you put in 2, usually it'll go and it'll burn for probably, I want to say it's about 45 minutes, but it's never more than an hour. It does depend on your temperature. I'm just going to dump this off to the side. I have a nice rocky spot right there where nothing can burn. And the smoke is still coming through from the birdhouse right there, so it's flowing right out of the load tube and then right in. And then nothing on here, well, a little bit of drop of liquid smoke on the side. And that's something else that you can do, is you can create liquid smoke in here, and you would usually use something like a pan of ice with another pan directly beneath it, so it would create the condensation. And the drain tube, nothing filled in the drain tube because the pan's not full. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up now. And that'll do it. Now, if you like this smoker, go ahead and check out some of the links below, and you can see what the current price is. Those are affiliate links, so if you use those, I will get compensated. I'm going to tell you right now that, just like I always tell you, my top recommended accessory is always a grill mat. And I learned that from the original Masterbuilt that I had. So I actually bought a grill mat as a suggested accessory, and it just changed my grilling life. And then, of course, these right here, they just go so well with this smoker. And this is the newer one, and the old one is in there. And then I had one other one, but I sold that included it with a smoker that I sold to a friend. So next up will be a smoked salmon recipe. We're gonna add a different glaze to it today, but it's the same principle brine that I have. And when I make brine, I make large batches. So check that recipe out next week, and thanks for watching.